Hey, Shalom, Shalom, all praises, honor, glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishop, the great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to you fellow brothers pushing his word in truth and sincerity. Shabbat. Coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Kwadash. Shalom, shalom all to all the believers out there fighting for their faith in these wicked, evil times. All right, this is going to be a quick lesson, Lord's will. Should be relatively short. It's going to be an in-transit lesson. This is all based upon a statement that Donald J. Nero Trump, made in concerning the war, the unjust war, which all the wars that America wages are unjust. All the wars that these heathens wage are unjust. Okay, this unjust war that he's waged against Iran, and basically there's a big media coverage of his recent statements from a post that he put on his platform. I'm gonna read a little bit of it. You probably already heard about it. All your mainstream media outlets are covering it, okay, and essentially people are referencing his statement to potential war crimes, so-called due to international law, which they don't abide by any of those laws. And I want to know why are people so outraged and surprised of his statements. We're going to read it because the whole reason why you're in America, you Edomites, you so-called white people, okay, and all around the world, all right, in other people's lands, is because of war crimes, because of mass murder. That's how can we even argue that? Okay, this is from NBC News. It's everywhere, right? This is his post, and I didn't. There's it's bigger than that, but this is just like the quote that they're quoting. The post is a little bit more, they have a little bit more in that post. But I just found some things ironic, the things that he said, which really pertains to Esau's civilization. It says, a whole civilization will die tonight. Those are some crazy words. They can be interpreted, that can be interpreted crazy. To say some shit like that, a sitting U.S. American president that's in power, okay, is saying a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. Okay, see that? Never to be brought back again, Trump said in the post. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. So you got a madman in office, all right, a madman basically threatening a sovereign nation that their civilization, okay, is going to not exist. And again, that can be interpreted in many different ways. He basically saying that we're gonna strike your desalination plants where you get your fresh water. We're gonna strike basically your civilian infrastructure, all your roads, your trains, your bridges, your power plants. Okay, and you don't think that there's going to be retaliatory strikes on U.S. Infrastructure? Absolutely. Whether Iran did it or there's an actual, what's it called, false flag, the U.S. government, the deep state is doing it because they're the ones that are fomenting, all right, this war. All right, we're going to come back to this statement, but I want to get a scripture. Okay, bear with me. These are some bold statements. Let me get Psalms, the 10th chapter first. There's a couple of scriptures I want to get. We'll pull it. And we're just going to hit to the point. We're not going to make it too long, Lord's will, or too long and drawn out. All right. This is Psalms 10. And because if they're able to do this in front of the world stage, all right, what were they able to do when the scopeo wasn't on them? What are the crimes that they did before so-called international law, before that was established, before they had that power, that hegemony, while they were gaining that power, things they did to the North American Indian, the Gadites, the things they did to the so-called Black Americans, the Caribbeans, you know, our people essentially, the tribes. They did outrageous things. Okay. This is Psalms 10, and I wanna bear with me. I gotta make this turn. Bear with me. Let me just start up. Psalms 10 and 2. It says, "The wicked in his pride." This is all pride. To say that you can destroy a civilization that is never going to come back again. And to leave that statement so open-ended and vague. A whole civilization will die. Well, what is a civilization? A civilization is an accumulation of civilians, which are people. So you're saying that you're going to mass murder a whole civilization? That's crazy. And essentially, that's what you're saying you're going to do, because you're going to destroy all their infrastructure to be able to, you know, operate. You know, no water, no electricity, no, you know, not able to move from, you know, one place to another. You're going to basically, you say you're going to create a famine, you're going to starve them out. And I see, maybe he chickens out. Or maybe he's going to do it. Maybe they're going to force him to do it. The Most High going to force him to do it, and that's going to be a big move, and that's supposed to happen tonight. The wicked in his pride does persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices they have imagined. That the device of destroying peoples, in particular the Israelites. This is really talking about Jake, us. He completely is on top of us. Okay. Jake don't have no military. Look at Venezuela, right? A so-called sovereign nation. Well, Trump going to Venezuela proved that they're not a sovereign nation. Okay, it was a 1 second knockout. Okay, which shows you that we don't have any power. The Most High has given Esau, well, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. All right, but he's going to be taken in that snare. His civilization is going to be completely destroyed. For the wicked does boast of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetousness whom the Lord abhorreth. He's coveting that land. He wants control over that land for many reasons. One is having energy dominance. Another is asserting his hegemony back. You know, it's a dying empire, so they have to go to war. They have to do you know, unjust things. Which, again, why are you surprised? America was established by unjust means. Everybody knows that. Basically everybody's mad at us because we're saying the quiet part out loud. Okay? But since there's been relatively peace for so many years, people forgot about that dirty history. Now they're running it back all over again. Even at the small hats, they literally actively genociding the people. Killing, they want to literally kill them all off. But we're the bad guys. We've done, you know, the Hebrew Israelites, we're the terrorists, right? You see how backwards everything is? Well, the Most High sees that, and he's going to judge Esau. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. Well, hold on. I thought America was a God-fearing country. Trump said that his favorite book is the Bible. Well, what does the Bible say about what you're doing? You see how they only use the Bible for their convenience, when it profits them, to make them seem like their causes are just and biblical. But when they've never opened up the scripture, okay? They've never opened up the scripture and used it in their society, all right, justly. All right, if they do open up the scripture, it's to justify something. Like you had Netanyahu talking about he's invoking scriptures, and he's invoking the scripture on Amalek, how you're going to destroy them all, and like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? But these are the people that are in power. We're not doing that. We're telling you what's getting ready to happen. And people are mad at us. Okay? The Most High is not in all his thoughts. His ways are grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. And that's essentially what he's doing. He's puffing at his enemies, saying, I'm going to do this. And he's doing this in front of the world stage. He's doing this in front of superpowers. Okay? He's doing this in front of China, in front of Russia, in front of North Korea, in front of India, in front of Pakistan. Okay? A lot of these countries that have nuclear missiles. This man is rogue. He has to be stopped. All right, you see a lot of comments speaking about the 25th Amendment needs to be invoked, which I believe that's, basically impeaching your president, getting your president out of there. He's not able fit to rule, and this is why you're gonna have a civil war. The move that Trump is making is going to split the country. It's already splitting the country. But what's going to happen is the people are going to be affected by it. Your gas is going up, your food is going up. Okay, there's going to be rumor of famine because of the fertilizer. Like a lot of things are going to happen as a result of these madman policies. Okay, when I was watching this video, the scripture came to mind. They shall be like madmen, sparing none. You have a madman in office. You have the cruel Lord, man, talking about you gonna destroy a whole civilization, which shows you that these people were never right from the beginning. This is actually how they feel. This is how the Edomite got his power. Okay, he got his power through the force of the sword. The scriptures tell us that. By thy sword thou shalt live. And don't get it twisted, the so-called Democrat and da-da-da-da. That's all bull. That's all smoke and mirrors, man. They're all with it. Okay? At the end of the day, the Edomite is with it, because even when the Democrat, the liberal, when their standard of living is diminished, they're gonna fight too, man. Okay? They're gonna fight. They're gonna war. They gonna be having guns. They be going against the right, going against the left. It's gonna be real, just nasty, right? I'm done there. I'm gonna read this comment again, and then I want to read this comment again, and then do Sodomite, Esau. Bear with me, and then I want to hit another scripture. We'll just close it from there. It wasn't too long. Again, you've probably seen the news. All right, let's park. This is yep. This is Jeremiah 51 and 53. Though Babylon should mount up, this is speaking about Babylon the Great, America. Though, and none of these people, these insiders, isn't it ironic? You have certain people that speak about the mark of the beast, and they'll speak about the elites, and they'll even bring, every once in a while you hear the Rothschild dynasty, the elite bankers. Every once in a while you'll hear that. They'll. Okay, so like I had a call. Brother called me. Let me just read the scripture. I forget the point. I was saying, Jeremiah 51 and 53. Though Babylon should mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the height of her strength, yet from me, Yahweh, shall spoilers come unto her, save the Lord. And those spoilers are these other nations, starting with Russia. All right, that's going to spoil Babylon the Great by shooting missiles on it. Okay, but before that happened, yeah, your critical infrastructure is going to be shut down, cyber attacks, and of course they're going to blame Iran, Russia. Okay, galvanize the people to for this draft that's coming. All right, your sons are going to be sent off to the war. I don't see this thing slowing down. It's not going to slow down. We're in that time. Remember, they have an agenda 2030, and the Most High also has an agenda. And his agenda, his determination, is to destroy this place. A sound of a cry coming from Babylon, and great destruction from the land of the Chaldeans. Because the Lord has spoiled Babylon and destroyed out of her the great voice. Oh, that's the point I was making, is that all these individuals, they'll speak about, the coming agenda and the elites and false flags and this and that. But nobody's saying that, and they'll even bring out particular scriptures, but nobody is saying that America is Babylon the Great. Okay, outside of the Israelites. Okay, and maybe somebody might say it every once in a while, they'll make a hint to it, but nobody's is emphatically, if I'm using that correctly, okay, definitively saying with confidence that America is Babylon the Great and that America is going to be destroyed. If anything, they're saying we need to pray for America. We need to wake people up. We need to stop this. How are you going to stop this? You can't stop this. Because the Lord has spoiled Babylon and destroyed out of her the great voice, when her waves do roar like great waters. A noise of their voice is uttered. Because the spoiler is come upon her, and nobody is really taking into consideration how all these nations are going to turn against America and shoot missiles at it. They're not. That's far out of their mind. They're still living in a comfortable. They're still living in a comfortable, position. Things are still going on. I mean, yeah, it's tight, but things are still moving, like the scriptures say, like as the days of Lot or as the days of Noah, they shall be eating, drinking, and giving in marriage. Our things are still moving forward like they've always been moving. It's just, yeah, things are tight. People are scared. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. It says, bear with me. Because the spoiler is come upon her, even upon Babylon, and her mighty men are taken. Every one of their bows is broken. For the Lord power of recompense shall surely requite. Yeah, so essentially, America's not going to be able to, fight back. They're not going to be able to shoot missiles back or have any power in their hand. The Most High is going to break the teeth of the young lion. I believe that's when we go back to if we went back to Psalms 10. Okay. The Most High, Yahweh, for the Lord Yahweh, a recompense shall surely requite. He's going to pay you back. The Most High has not forgotten of all the blood that you spilled. Remember, the blood can't be cleansed but by the blood of them that shed it. See, man forgets things. You can forgive and forget and move on. The Most High doesn't forget, especially when something has not been paid back. Remember, he's a just power. If you do wrong, you're going to receive for the wrong that you have done. Okay? It says, and I will make drunk her princes, and her wise men, her captains, and her rulers, and her mighty men. Every decision America's making is wrong. Drunk, you don't make the right decisions when you're drunk. You make the wrong decisions. Okay? So pretty much America is making all the wrong decisions. Isaiah the 19th chapter says how the Lord, he has called, he's mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and calls Egypt, which is America, to error in every work thereof. So everything that America is doing to try to fix itself, Jeremiah the 51st chapter, when you read up, says we would have healed Babylon, but Babylon is not healed. Whether you go to a digital currency, whether you do, it doesn't matter. This place is going down. And all your talking heads, all your world leaders, all your powerful mighty men, all your scholars, all your prophets, all your wise men, your prudent men, the Most High has made them drunk. They don't know what's going on. I did a video the other day going into How we had what's your boy's name? What the UFC guy with the podcast, Joe Rogan. How he don't know what the hell is going on. He admitted it on his show. I don't know what's going on. I'm afraid. I'm confused. It says, and they shall sleep a perpetual. Let me read that again. This is the point. Because I'm gonna go back to that comment and read what Trump said. But that really applies to America, and there's many other scriptures on that. And I will make drunk her princes and her wise men, her captains and her rulers and her mighty men, and they shall sleep a perpetual sleep and not wake, saith the King, whose name is Yahweh of hosts. See that? Let's go back to this comment. Because Trump basically threatened that, hey, I'm going to destroy your whole civilization. Your civilization is going to die. It's going to die tonight. So he's threatening. Okay? But that threat actually, all right, that threat actually is going to apply to you. The Most High is threatening you, okay, through the mouth of the prophets. But they're not taking heed. So when it happened, that's why it's going to be so magnificent, man. And we're waiting for this. All right? A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I thought, what about peace talks? Right? What about negotiations? Why are you saying that a civilization is going to die? Isn't that pretty harsh? Never to be brought back again. Okay? Let's read this again. And I will make drunk her princes and her wise men, her captains and rulers, and her mighty men, and they shall sleep a perpetual sleep and not wake. That means it's going to be destroyed forever. Saith the King, whose name is Yahweh of hosts. I'm gonna close it there, man. We coming into them times, man. All right. Till next time. Shalom to the elect.